once again. How are you doing? I hope you are having a very productive day. And this is the month of May 2021. Today, Mr. Lawrence Kasonde Jr. is joining me on Mory Chat segment. We will chat the cross-cutting issues to do with student leadership, his personal life, a bit about it, we might just find out a lot, and his future political career. Stay tuned. Hello, welcome back. So, like I said earlier, Mr. Junior Kasonde has joined me on this Mory Chat today, and I am so excited.
Good afternoon.
Good afternoon to you too. So, at least today I chanced you, seeing your busy schedule. I just want to ask about your busy schedule and school. How do you manage to balance those two?
It's quite very difficult.
Yeah.
Most of the times when your friends are in class, you'll be requested to be somewhere representing students. You're requested to be in a meeting or you have traveled to some place. Yeah. So usually what I do, first and foremost, even before I'm a student leader, for example. Yeah, I'm a student. That's the first year. So my busy schedule comes as a result of me being a student, me being a student leader, my personal life, family, and then other things. Yeah. So I do try to manage my time very well. Though sometimes you may have a lot of things on your plate to manage. Yes, but when it comes to academics, I've got friends, and it's that if I miss something, later in the evening I'll try to call them and say, guys, let's sit down and go through what I've been left behind.
That's a good thing. You've got good friends. So you talked about your family and you talked about having a personal life as well. But first, I'd like to talk about your family. Would you tell us more?
Okay, the third born in the family of four. Is both my mom and dad are alive. Yes, I've got two elder sisters and a young brother who's actually here in the School of Mines. Yes, my family is not so loud. It's a quiet, small family. And
so do you have any role model in your family that inspires you to be who you are, a leader that you are?
my dad.
Okay.
Yes. He inspires me in a lot of things.
Yeah.
Yes, he's a man that is ambitious, visionary, but I think during his time there are a lot of things that he didn't achieve.
Okay.
So I think that is what gives me that oomph.
Yeah.
Yes, to do certain things that I do.
Yeah.
Apart from that, he's a dad that I've grown up to be scared of.
Oh.
In the family, we used to call him Gaddafi.
Oh my.
He's one of those scary men
Yeah.
or scary fathers that if you are watching cartoon and you hear the gate scene, you have to change the channel to news and then run away for no apparent reason. That's how we grew up. But when I became of age, we became very good friends. Many other times when I thought my parents won't support me, maybe in politics, a lot of parents would tell their children saying, why you've gone, just go and focus on school. Don't join the union.
This.
Yes. But those words have never been out of my father's mouth.
Wow.
Even when I was expelled, he told me, just keep calm, everything's going to be okay.
For real? Like any other parent would actually really be upset for you to be expelled when they actually brought you here for school. So, can you tell us more about how your expulsion was and the effects that it had on you?
On me and my family.
Yeah.
Okay, first and foremost, I am one person that never really felt the impact of that expulsion.
Yeah.
I don't know, maybe it's an indirect way that God was trying to strengthen me. Actually, I was one of the strongest people on the team. There were 6 of us that were expelled.
Yeah.
The impact it had, the negative impact, yes, it was an academic setback.
Yeah.
But it was it also had a positive impact in my life. It I think taught me things that I didn't know.
Yeah.
It gave me an experience that a few may have.
Okay.
It also opened my eyes and ears, and I started also knowing that sometimes in politics there are also enemies.
Yeah.
Also people that do not want you to be where you are.
Yeah.
And those people, I started seeing them when we got expelled. Yes, it was an interesting journey because my entire expulsion, I was moving up and down, trying to meet people, trying to explain to people, saying, look, this is what caused the expulsion. And in the end, I ended up knowing people, and a lot of people that I met, a lot of them said, it's a process in life. We all make mistakes. One of them being the president.
Wow.
Yes, who also narrated this story when he was once young and said, when I was young, I also used to have this bad vice.
Yeah.
Yes, and we all learn through mistakes. As I grew up, I ended up stopping it and focusing on my life. Yeah. So the expulsion, quite okay. I may not have seen maybe that impact in my parents. Maybe in the middle of the night they would be crying, but during the day they will always call you. They'll always support you. They'll always be there for you. At no point did they ever blame me or tell me it's because of you being in the union expelled. My mom actually told me, saying, you've stood up for so many students.
Yeah, you did.
A lot of students wouldn't have had that opportunity to write the exams.
Yeah.
The number of students that you stood up for, that's the number of lessons school is going to give you.
She's so wise.
And yes, quite okay, I knew someday things are going to be better because I started thinking of maybe I should become an entrepreneur, maybe I should go back home, start farming, but I just don't know where this energy would come from and tell me, Lawrence, just continue pushing, go back to school. Then eventually, something that has never happened in history before, we were brought back from expulsion to mere suspension, brought back and with no conditions.
Wow.
Usually in the past, when you were suspended, brought back, you'll be brought with conditions. But I was given back my room, bursary, and a position.
We're so happy to hear that, because just like your mom said, I think you spoke out for many of us and you helped us all. But do you at some point feel like you're not being appreciated for the fights that you put across for the students?
Well, I'm studying mining engineering, and physics is part of the components of an engineer that an engineer needs to know. In physics, there's what we call friction. If a car is not moving, there'll be no friction. Yes. You won't see people buying tires if the car is not moving, there's no friction. So when the car is moving, the faster it moves, the more the friction. So if I'm pretty sure a lot of people will be asking, why is it that they're not affected when you hear the negative comments, when you see people insult you? I think it's based on the speed at which I am
You're moving, because you are moving.
Because I am moving. If I'm going to sit down and look at maybe that one student that has made a bad comment about me, then life keeps on moving while I remain stuck. At the end of the day, these are just students. Some of them may insult, some of them may say bad things, but you still represent them. I'll give you this scenario of this student. He would say a lot of things on Facebook, Lawrence this, Lawrence what, but then he finds himself in a very serious scenario where he needs financial assistance. And I ended up finding out from his friends. I don't know, I think he was feeling shy to approach me directly. So I call him and he thinks I want to talk to him over posts, and I said, I've been told you're having this problem. Yes, can I help you? So the student says, okay, yes, fine. I don't have money that I can use. So I connect this person to somebody that can help the student helped. And I think that is what we call leadership. Above all, a leader also needs to take in negative comments. There will be critics that will come through, but try to isolate the good words and the bad words and what are people trying to say. Others will advise you.
It's not to cut you, but right there I've seen a lot of posts like students, and they are wondering if you are a dictator. So Lawrence, can you tell us, are you a dictator?
I'm not a dictator. At the moment, as I speak to you, no government institution has ever held elections. Yes, and CB is not a unique institution. But then, if today I, Lawrence Kasonde, says I resign,
Yeah.
I'm opening a lot of doors to a lot of problems. There's that one student that still needs a student representative.
Yeah.
I resigned, but there's still no elections. So until the government tries to the universities and says the universities are fit to conduct elections, it's not going to have the elections.
Okay.
But then students will not understand. Dictatorship is also another form of leadership.
Yeah.
Lately I've been silent because I too have a personal life and I'm a student. Yes, being a union president or being in the union, you're not on a monthly salary, number one. And number two, it's just you, it's upon yourself trying to represent your friends. Yes. So the reason why we're even busy, the reason why even our grades may not be so good is because we have decided to take a different path in terms of academics.
Yeah.
So even in this scenario, I'll talk about three kinds of students that we have with regards to student politics. We have the first ones that want to ascend into positions, that want to get into the union. Those are the ones we call the influencers. We have the second ones that are influenced by the influencers. And we have the third ones that are just bypassers. They just look at, oh, this is what's going on. Fine. They pass by. So now if we look at the influencers, today right now, an influencer can come up with a certain scenario, but maybe what that student is trying to actually do to the students is influence them in a certain direction so that he can have them on his side.
Yeah.
So if you look at the students, many of them that have been maybe talking, it's those maybe that want to ascend into positions.
Into the position that you're in.
Yeah, so usually I would also read all those posts. But one thing I learned is if you've got a candle and it's off, and you've got a friend that has got a candle and it's off, go closer and ask them, how did you light your candle? Then I'll tell you, okay, this is how I lit my candle. Then you'll be, oh, fine, this is how you lit this candle. So why shouldn't I at least use his method, or why can't I ask him to give me a part of the candle? Because truth be told, if the person with the light doesn't give it to you, you won't have it.
Okay.
Yeah. Just like right now, we won't have one president in the country. No matter how many opposition parties we may have, we don't have one at a time. He calls the shots, he makes the decisions.
That's true.
Yeah, so even these opposition parties, we may see them today fighting and whatnot, but behind the curtains, you don't know.
Yeah, that's true.
How I joined student politics, I wasn't in opposition. I wanted to learn from the people already there.
Who were already okay.
And that is one thing that made me, I think, a good leader. Because I joined the union in the second year. I became the Minister of Academics when I was in the second year.
Okay.
Yeah, so I learned from them, and quickly as I came in the union, there are two different parts here. When you're outside the union, things look different. Get inside, and you will now find the real job. It's actually being in the union that's going to make you grow and understand certain things. So I understood, okay, so fine, when you're in the union, you need to strike a balance between the students, management, and the government, and also have the opposition. So now, how do you strike that balance? As you're striking that balance, you also have a family and a personal life dangling somewhere. So now this is where people need to really use absolute maturity when it comes to student governance.
Okay.
So it's the negative comments and sentiments that come actually, I embrace them.
Okay.
Yes, they're just stones that I used to build a wall so that they can stop throwing stones towards me.
So do you think you also learn from even those comments that seem to be really negative? Do you sometimes try and pick some points from those comments?
Yes, I do.
That's a good thing.
I do, and I'll give just a simple quick scenario when we had a bus being given to us, which wasn't easy to come. Yes, the story on media was the bus is damaged.
Yeah, I read that too.
Those are negative comments about the bus. A bus which was in 100% perfection and neat condition. People were saying it's damaged. The driver has been fired. So now some students still believe the bus is damaged and still think the bus driver is fired. Me, who's at the forefront, knows the bus is in perfect condition and the driver is still.
So speaking of your inbox, you receive a lot of emails from your students? Or
Quite a lot.
How do you respond to such? Because there are a lot of students.
So I've got Facebook. a page that I run.
Yeah.
I've got my WhatsApp. I've got even my emails and direct text messages. So we're talking about 5 platforms.
Yeah.
And all these are usually full. Yeah. So some students may be unfortunate. I may have not seen their messages, I may not reply. But usually what I do is like what you found me doing, saying I'm trying to retain the calls that I missed when I was sick. Yeah. So what I would do is maybe when I'm done with my day, I'll go to my inboxes and then I'll start offloading and replying. Yes, it's a very big deal because and as much as you reply to somebody, you reply maybe to 50 messages.
Yeah.
They're also replying back.
Yeah.
So it's an ongoing process. So it's something that's not difficult, but we have to live by it.
I see.
It's a life that we chose, so we have to be replying. Later in the future, maybe if God blesses us with a position, we'll have a secretary that would respond.
I was about to suggest that. You should definitely get a secretary to respond to such. And then now I'm thinking that is so much work on you already. But then you're a young man and you have other aspirations and of course a private life. We're going to just invite a bit your private life to ask, are you in love? Do you have a girlfriend? Or should my single ladies out there get on the queue?
I'm in a relationship.
Yay! You wanna tell us with who?
Yes, I'm in a relationship with ambition.
Ambition.
Yes. Women, like men, we have qualities that we look at when it comes to a woman.
Yeah.
You want somebody that is mature, responsible, can cook good. Yeah, somebody that's gonna be your stress reliever when you're
So
stressed.
she does all of that?
No, wait. Somebody that somebody that is beautiful. Yes, we've got certain things that we look for.
Yeah, yeah.
So when I said I'm in a relationship with ambition, I meant my ambitions. The things.
Really? I think you just put a squire right now.
Not really.
No, you've just put a squire.
No, because what I believe in is if you have certain things that ladies are looking for, you won't have a problem finding that right lady. But then be comfortable yourself.
Yeah.
If I'm failing to take care of myself, definitely I want to take care of you.
Yes, that is true.
I've been through quite a few relationships here and there.
Yeah.
Some that worked out, some that are broken because of me or because of them.
Yeah.
Yes, but at the moment I'm still a young man. I'm still growing. I'm still trying to build myself.
Okay.
If I focus more on a relationship right now, I may lose myself. Yes, there's some very big things I'm trying to focus on, especially this year. So this year, yes, I do have a lot of female friends.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, but this year I'm not getting into any relationship until.
So they all have to wait?
We have to wait until maybe August.
August, dear ladies. When it comes, please be on the queue. How will you know that she is the one?
So we'll start the process. We'll have to get to know each other. Some are already we're already knowing each other. I'm knowing you right now.
Yeah.
Yeah, so after August, so maybe my mind will open up. So fine, I now need to get in a relationship. But for now, I'm not in any relationship.
Okay, so you're talking about August. Would you enlighten us? Is there anything, you say some major things, and I assume that should be more than just being a student leader. Is there anything that you are doing politically? What are your political aspirations?
Okay, August has got 2 big days for me. 12 August and August 28th.
Okay.
Yes, I'll start with August 28th. I think August 28th, I'll be saying go back. August 12th are the general elections.
Yes.
Yes, and by God's grace, I have plans.
Okay.
Yes, I have plans to actually extend my political ambition. So I want to go back to a special community that did something special for me, especially when I was expelled and when I failed to pay my school fees.
Okay.
Yes, and that community is Riverside.
Wow.
Yes, I'd love to go back and work for those people.
Okay. Under which position?
I'll start as a ward counselor.
Wow, that's huge. That's huge.
So that's where I
So anybody out there who's willing to support Lawrence, please, he is aspiring to become the ward councillor of Riverside. Please come on board and support him. Otherwise, this has been a really interesting chat. I'm glad I had this time with you. Is there anything else that you would want to say to the students of the mighty COBUSU University and the people at large?
I understand. What I would love to tell the students out there is I care a lot about the students.
Yeah.
Yes, I love them, and a lot of them are my friends actually. So those that sometimes we may differ in opinion, but it doesn't mean we should be enemies actually.
Yeah.
Yes, my door is always open. They can always call me, and one thing I can always tell them is there's life beyond academics.
Yeah.
A lot of us are closed in what we're studying today. When I finish, I'm going to be a degree holder. I'll be getting paid 20,000. I'll be given a Highlands. I'll be given a 3-bedroom house.
Yes.
The reality out there is different. I would love to say I'm proud of students this year, especially because a lot of them have decided to become entrepreneurs. I'm sure you can agree with me on that.
Yes.
They've decided to be entrepreneurs, and I would say that I'm proud of you guys. Yes, life is bigger than just academics. You may go out there and become an employer actually. Yeah. Sort of you moving around with 40,000 others looking for jobs. You can have your own small container while you're making money. Yes, business. That's how businesses grow actually. So you may be selling beans or rice today, or you may have a loan business as a student. But tomorrow, who knows? Running a loan firm that institutes that can give loans to even actually banks.
Yeah.
So it starts from here. Yes, and what I would love to tell the people out there, family and friends, is that when a flame begins, it can actually grow into a bushfire, but we have the ability to stop it.
Yeah.
So when we realize we've got something in us that can actually grow as big as a bushfire, let's invest in it. But it will not be a smooth journey. We're going to always have obstacles and hurdles that we have to jump. Yes, I got expelled. It was not only the expulsion, there was a period that I actually failed to pay my school fees.
Yeah.
Yes, and it was actually good wishes from Riverside that helped pay fees. I used to work in a butchery in Riverside, public butchery. From there, trying to raise school fees. From there, I worked in public because the pub at PML. Then later, I worked in dinner bells as a waiter.
Wow.
Yes, that was in my 30s. Yes, and so I had 2 huge setbacks.
Yeah.
Academically, but then August, by God's grace, I'm going to goodness one.
Yeah.
Life should keep on moving. If you stop, life won't stop. Keep on moving.
It will keep on moving. Thank you so much, Lawrence, for taking time with me. I can say you've run a good race, but like you all heard, he is going to run for the ward councillor of Riverside, so we can support him, so we can have such a hearty leader within our community. Thank you so much once again, and I hope to have another chat next time.
Thank you, Mory.
Okay.